begin. Please welcome Tony Burns. Tony Burns, step inside a simulator. Step inside a simulator. Tony Burns.
LaGuardia Airport, New York City, 15th of January 2009. 150 passengers board US Airways Flight 1549. In charge of the flight is Captain Chesley Sullenberger. In his 42 years as a pilot, Captain Sullenberger has never had to deal with a major incident involving threat to life. Until contest chair. Fellow Toastmasters guests, until 3 minutes after takeoff. A thick flock of Canada geese thudded into the aircraft. They splattered across the windscreen. They were sucked inside the engines. Both engines failed. Without thrust, Flight 1549 would be hitting the ground in 3 minutes. Captain Sullenberger calculates he has insufficient time to return to the airport. He looks out over Manhattan, and then he sees the Hudson River. Most water landings end in tragedy. The wings of the aircraft had to be perfectly horizontal because if the wingtip dug into the water, the plane would cartwheel and be ripped to pieces. The landing was textbook. Everyone survived the event, which quickly became known as the Miracle on the Hudson. Later, in an interview, Chesley Sullenberger said he believed that anyone with his experience and training could have done what he did. He said, "One way of looking at this is that for the last 42 years, I've been making small, regular deposits in this bank of experience, education, and training. And on January 15th, the balance was sufficient that I was able to make a very large withdrawal." How do those words make you feel? I was uplifted. I was inspired. I was jealous. How could I be like Chesley Sullenberger? What did he do that we could do if we want to take our skills from ordinary to extraordinary? And this question triggered a childhood memory. I was 5 years old and at a fairground with my dad, and we'd just been on a merry-go-round and the Ferris wheel, and now we were in front of what looked like a shipping container mounted on the back of a truck. There was a man in front of it shouting, "Step right up! Step right up!" "What is that, Dad?" "Ah, Tony, that thing's called a flight simulator. You step inside and it's like being in the cockpit of an aeroplane. You sit down and you pretend to fly." "Oh, wow, Dad! Oh, Dad, can we watch?" "You betcha we can." So we waited and we watched. The container started shaking and then it lifted slightly off the back of the truck. After a while, one end rose in the air. A while later, the other end rose in the air. And then, I was bored. "Dad, that's not exciting." "Oh, no, Tony, it doesn't really work if you're just watching from the outside. If you want to get the experience, you'd have to step inside a simulator." There was my answer. Chesley Sullenberger would have spent thousands of hours inside a simulator. And that's what we can do. If we want to take our skills from ordinary to extraordinary, we step inside a simulator. Now, you don't have to go to a fairground to find a simulator. You're in one, a really big one, right now. In the simulator we call Toastmasters, we take on challenges. We test ourselves. We learn to handle the unexpected. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. But every time we step inside a simulator, we learn. I knew this was the answer because several years earlier, I was forced to use a skill that I had learned in a simulator. I was at work talking with a colleague when from the next office we could hear Liz, the receptionist, start to cough. We didn't think much of it at first, but then it kept going. I'm just going to check that she's okay. The scene that greeted me made my blood run cold. Liz was hunched behind her desk. Her face was twisted in fear. Her eyes were bulging and she was pointing at her throat. As I rushed towards her, I saw on her desk the pack of barley sugars she loved to suck. One of them had gone down the wrong way and Liz was choking to death. I gave her a whack on the back. Nothing. I tried again, harder. Still nothing. If I didn't get this barley sugar out, Liz was going to die. And then I realised I had to do something I had never done before. I practiced it every year on my first aid course, but I had never had to do it for real. The Heimlich maneuver. I got behind Liz, made a fist, put it under her ribcage. My other hand came round and I pulled. The barley sugar shot out of her mouth and hit the wall with a crack. And then I heard, and that was Liz breathing again. Did I feel like a hero? No. I felt like a very stiff drink. Chesley Sullenberger is an inspiration, not just because he did something extraordinary, but because he reminded us that anyone, ordinary person, can do something extraordinary. And we develop the potential for that every time we step inside a simulator. So what about you? Will there be something extraordinary in your future? What are you good at that you could be great at? Is there a talent in the shadow waiting to see the light? Do you have a dream that's waiting to become reality? Step right up. Your simulator awaits.